I've been thinking about handing over the position of the CEO to you.
My father said so when he called me back to the US. I had suspected something was up, but it turned out to be a significant matter. My father's name is John Smith. He expanded the hotel he inherited from my grandfather into a nationwide chain, and now it even has branches overseas. I had been working as the manager of one of the overseas hotels.
However, before you take on the CEO role, there's something I need you to do.
He said as he showed me a whistleblower report from an employee at our Chicago branch.
I need you to investigate this and turn around our Chicago hotel.
I sensed it was a test to see if I had what it took to be CEO. My secretary, Jessica, handed me the sales data and reviews of the Chicago hotel. It was conveniently located near a station and used to have a great reputation. However, in recent years, its sales have fallen and the hotel's ratings are not favorable. It's easy to order an internal investigation, but I should probably see things for myself. Understood, I'll start the investigation right away. I told my father and turned to Jessica. Jessica, there's something I need your help with. An exciting life seemed to be starting. My name is Mark Johnson, and I'll be working here as a janitor starting today. Nice to meet you all. Instead of my real name, Michael, I introduced myself as Mark Johnson and had a professional makeup artist transform me into a completely different person. I appeared older than I am, almost like an elderly man. Even my wife and daughter were surprised by my transformation, saying they wouldn't have recognized me if they hadn't been told. No one would suspect I'm the son of the CEO.
I'm manager Reverwood. I told HR we didn't need any more housekeepers though. Well, you won't last long before getting fired.
The manager muttered under his breath, prompting a middle-aged woman to object.
Manager, we're desperately short on housekeepers. We're so busy we could use all the help we can get. Please hire more staff.
The manager glared at her.
That's because you're all working too slowly. Put more effort into it.
He snapped before walking away. After he left, the woman Anderson, the housekeeping manager, turned to me.
I'm Anderson, the housekeeping manager. Nice to meet you. Let me show you to the employee lounge.
As she led me there and handed me a uniform.
We usually clean rooms in pairs. Today, you'll be working with me, and I'll show you the cleaning checkpoints.
The lounge was empty. Does the manager always act like that? I asked, seizing the opportunity. Anderson glanced at her watch and hurried me.
We have a lot to do, so please change quickly.
It seemed I would have to wait until break time to inquire further. After quickly changing, Anderson, who was checking her computer, stood up.
There are some rooms already checked out, so we'll start cleaning there.
Checkout time is 10 a.m., but some business travelers leave early in the morning. I followed Anderson into a guest room, changing linens, making beds, disposing of trash, and doing wiping and sweeping cleaning.
You'll never finish at this space.
She scolded. Although I thought I had cleaned well, Anderson immediately conducted a strict inspection, especially of the mirrors. After finishing one room and moving to the next, she demanded quick and meticulous cleaning, and I worked as hard as I could. It had been years, perhaps decades, since I worked up such a sweat.
Johnson, faster, please.
Anderson was quite a taskmaster. We moved from one room to another without a break, finally stopping for lunch. Sitting down in the lounge, I felt exhausted.
Good job.
She placed a warm cup of tea in front of me.
Did you bring lunch, Johnson?
When I said no, she handed me a sandwich.
I bet you were surprised by how busy we are. Sorry about that. But we need to work at that pace to finish cleaning the rooms on time.
I never realized housekeeping was this challenging. When I worked in the hotel before, I was at the front desk. I knew what a housekeeper's job entailed, but actually doing the work was a whole different story.
It wasn't like this back in the day.
There used to be more housekeepers, so they weren't trusted to clean like this. However, the manager cut down on staff to reduce labor costs, leading to a heavier workload for the remaining housekeepers. This rush resulted in complaints about things like trash not being thrown away or hair left in the bathtubs, diminishing the quality of their work. Anderson took this seriously and had asked the manager to hire more housekeepers, but her requests were always ignored.
So having you, Johnson, join us is a big help. It's tough, but please don't quit.
Her face was much kinder than when she had scolded me earlier. Anderson, have you ever thought about quitting this job? I asked cautiously.
I actually like this job and find it fulfilling, but I'm scared that if I keep working like this, I might break down. I can't quit, though. I'm a single parent and need to pay for my daughter's education.
Smiling wistfully.
I wish I could win the lottery and take my daughter to Hawaii, but that's just a dream.
Glancing at her watch, Anderson stood up.
You still have 20 minutes, Johnson. Take it easy. I need to go do some inspections.
Anderson rushed off hurriedly. Inspections involve checking if the room cleaning is perfect. Normally, inspectors educate the cleaning staff and instruct them on any necessary re-cleaning, but Anderson also had to clean rooms due to the staff shortage. I wondered if her salary as a manager was enough for her responsibilities. I continued working as a housekeeper and investigating the manager. I noticed that the front desk also seemed understaffed, with guests often waiting in line. This seemed partly due to handling numerous guest complaints. The front desk staff and bellboys, though smiling, showed signs of fatigue, probably due to long hours, including night shifts. This made it impossible to provide guests with heartfelt hospitality, and that affects the hotel's ratings. I also discovered that the hotel was using old equipment and some was even broken. The manager wouldn't buy new ones despite requests. I have something I need you to look into. One day after work, I called Jessica. After reviewing the data she provided, I felt it was time to act. I couldn't let the manager continue like this. The next morning, the manager was on edge during the staff meeting.
The new CEO is coming for an inspection tomorrow. If anything goes wrong, it reflects on me, so everyone, work diligently.
He announced. I chuckled to myself. He doesn't know the inspection had already started. Our eyes met and he said mockingly,
Don't leave a speck of dust, old man.
he is beyond saving. The following day, dressed in a high-end suit, I arrived at the hotel entrance as the new CEO. The doorman greeted me with a respectful attitude, clueless that I was the janitor, Johnson. As I entered the lobby, despite being open for business, many employees, including the manager, were there to welcome me.
Welcome, Mr. Michael.
The manager greeted me with an unfamiliar wide smile, sending chills down my spine.
Congratulations on becoming the new CEO. I'm Manager Riverwood.
Yes, I know you well, Riverwood. As his smile grew even wider.
It's an honor to know you're familiar with me.
But his smile wouldn't last long. You should know about me, right? I asked, and he replied with confusing.
Of course. You're the son of the former CEO. And after managing our New York hotel, you also oversaw our hotels in Malaysia and Dubai, elevating this hotel group to its elite status.
I smiled. You're trying to run that hotel into the ground? The manager, whose face contorted in shock.
What do you mean?
I pointed to my face. Don't you recognize this face? I'm Johnson, the janitor you told yesterday to not leave a speck of dust, old man, as I cleaned every corner of this hotel. In stark contrast to my smile, the manager gasped in disbelief, turning pale. But he wasn't the only one surprised. All the employees present stared at me in disbelief. When I turned to Anderson, she had her hands over her mouth, eyes wide with shock. I apologized for startling everyone. I was actually undercover as a janitor for an internal investigation. Manager, may I have a word with you? It was clear to him now why he was being called out. He slumped his shoulders, looking down. The manager had been skimming off the reduced labor and expenses, falsely reporting them to the headquarters, and pocket the difference. Apparently, he had been squandering the money on a woman he was smitten with. The employee who had blown the whistle on him had reported his disrespectful attitude, including his harsh words and high-handed behavior, the mass firing of many employees, and how it led to the loss of their days off and breaks. Additionally, the repair staff were doing dangerous work without proper safety goggles, and the manager refused to replace a broken sheet presser despite their complaints. Another point. That staff was working as an accountant before, and he asked about unexplained expenses the manager, but he just said it was necessary then that staff got fired under the guise of downsizing. Hearing this, I decided to go undercover to investigate not only his treatment of employees but also the money trail. Manager Riverwood didn't just lose his job, he also faced criminal charges for embezzlement.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were the CEO.
Anderson apologized profusely across from me. Please, Anderson, lift your head. I'm grateful to you, I said, making her look at me in surprise.
Grateful.
Yes, despite the poor working conditions, you strive to provide the best service to our customers. Without you, the hotel's reputation would have fallen even further, I said with a chuckle. Though your strict guidance was quite something to handle. Anderson looked apologetic again. I told her that from now on, I wanted her to take breaks as scheduled, and that we would increase the number of housekeepers, asking her to take charge of their training and inspection.
Thank you. With this, I can continue working here,
she said, relieved. I continued. There's more. Her salary was too low for her hard work, so I informed her of an increase in her base pay and a raise in her manager's allowance. Also, you haven't taken any paid leave, Anderson. As the CEO, I order you to use your leave and enjoy time with your daughter. I handed her 2 tickets for a stay at our affiliated hotel in Hawaii, along with plane tickets.
Hawaii. Johnson, Michael, you remember my wish and made it come true.
This is a reward for your hard work. Please continue to support us." Anderson nodded tearfully several times. Afterwards, I worked on reforming the hotel, increasing staff, and setting appropriate shifts. We bought the necessary equipment and repaired broken ones, also revisiting safety measures.
It's become a better workplace since the CEO came.
I can finally spend time with my family.
I heard employees say, feeling relieved. However, regaining the trust of our lost customers wouldn't be easy. We plan to earnestly serve every guest and gradually rebuild trust. The new manager, someone I trusted, would surely create a better environment for both employees and guests. As the CEO, I aim to make this a hotel loved not just by customers but also by the employees, growing together with them.